Title: The Wolf Within. In the small, isolated town of Pine Hollow, nestled deep within the thick embrace of the forest, the long shadows of evening brought both beauty and trepidation. The townsfolk had come to respect the cryptic tales that danced on the edge of silence, murmurs exchanged in furtive glances after sundown. Stories of midnight howls reverberating through the woods and the unexplained disappearances that punctuated the quiet town's history were woven into the fabric of Pine Hollow itself. Yet, none could rival the chilling legend that had come to be known as the Wolf Within. Megan, a 17-year-old aspiring photographer, found herself drawn to Pine Hollow one fateful summer. Her love for the outdoors and the beauty of the untamed world ignited her passion for capturing the fleeting moments of nature through her lens. Little did she know that her journey would immerse her in legends that would forever change her understanding of the world, and of herself. On her first night in town, she met Caleb, a brooding local with soulful eyes that seemed to carry the weight of the moon. He was familiar with the whispers that plagued the townspeople and had learned to evade their fearful stares. As they wandered the woods together, Caleb shared the chilling tale of the werewolves said to inhabit the forest, creatures that roamed under the light of the full moon. "They say they're just like us," he whispered, his voice barely above a breath. "But when the moon is high and the time is right, they transform, losing the very essence of who they are. They become beasts, driven by primal instincts." Megan, intrigued yet skeptical, laughed lightly. "You can't honestly believe that, can you?" Caleb hesitated, his gaze shifting towards the treetops that rustled ominously, as if granting life to the very legends he spoke of. "You'll see. The night of the full moon is when they hunt." As the days passed and the full moon approached, Megan found herself captivated not only by Caleb but also by the mystery of the woods. There was something about the town that felt both thrilling and eerie, as if time itself lulled every creature into submission as they awaited their turn to revel in the darkness. On the night of the full moon, Megan decided to take her camera deep into the woods. With Caleb at her side, they ventured far beyond the well-trodden trails, following the melody of a howl that pierced the stillness of the night. Shadows stretched before them, flickering in the silvery light that bathed the trees, and doubt began to gnaw at her confidence. "Maybe we should turn back," she suggested, feeling the weight of the night pressing in on her. Caleb's demeanor shifted. "We can't rush back without knowing the truth," he insisted, determination sharpening his features. "I'll show you." He led her to a clearing where the moon hung heavy in the sky, casting an otherworldly glow that illuminated the clearing. They stood together, silence enveloping them as anticipation thickened the air. Then, as if summoned by some unseen force, the howls returned, louder, more urgent. The hairs on the back of Megan's neck stood on end, the instinctual fear clawing at her chest. Moments later, a figure emerged from the shadows, a massive wolf, its eyes glimmering like molten gold. The creature was majestic and terrifying, muscles rippling beneath its fur, and Megan felt her heart race. "Caleb," she whispered, eyes wide, panic coursing through her. "What is that?" "It's them. The cursed," he replied, a tremor in his voice as he drew her back, hiding behind a gnarled tree. "Stay quiet." But it wasn't just the wolf. As the moonlight splashed across the clearing, figures began to appear, shifting between fur and flesh, a nightmarish dance of transformation. Megan wanted to flee, her instincts screaming at her to run, yet something held her captive, a blend of dread and fascination. And then, in the chaos, she realized Caleb had stepped out from their concealment. The wolf sniffed the air, its focus turning towards him, and suddenly, he was the one caught in the crosshairs of the hunt. "Caleb, no," she shouted, her voice slicing through the night as she lunged forward to grab his arm. "Run," he growled, his eyes wild. "You need to get out of here." Megan felt the ground beneath her quiver, as other wolves joined the call, circling, eyes locked onto them with predatory hunger. She felt terror coursing through her veins, but also an inexplicable connection to Caleb. Something was unraveling, and she understood that the legends had woven deeper truths than mere folklore. In that moment, she saw what lay beneath the surface of Caleb's anguish and the secrets they both harbored. With fear propelling her, she grabbed hold of Caleb's hand, pulling him back toward the shadows where safety might still reside. But as they fled, the full moon gleamed coldly, and Caleb faltered, a pained growl echoing from his throat. "No, it's too late for me." He gripped her tightly, eyes flashing with anguish. You have to go. Save yourself. Desperate tears welled in Megan's eyes as she realized the truth. He was one of them. The wolf within had awakened in Caleb, and the man she had come to know was slipping away. But I won't leave you, she cried, her voice shaking. He looked into her eyes, a deep sadness evident in his. You already have. The curse, it's stronger than I am. With a final, shuddering breath, Caleb unleashed a howl that echoed through the forest, a sound of loss and desperation, and with it, he transformed before her, relinquishing his humanity entirely. Megan stumbled back, her heart shattering at the sight, and as she turned to flee, horror enveloped her. The pack watched, and she became the hunted, racing through the woods with the echo of the werewolves' howls chasing her into the darkness. As she finally burst out of the underbrush, gasping for air at the edge of Pine Hollow, the night stretched endlessly behind her, filled with shadows, monsters, and the haunting remembrance of a love she could never protect. And deep in the woods, the moon hung heavy in the night sky, continuing its eternal watch over those who wandered close, forever ensnared by the wolf within.